Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Tuesday Talk. It's been a little while, but I'm glad to be here again. Glad to be able to share some of the things I'm about to share with you, and glad that you all are watching. I know that with the the change, more folks getting vaccinated and everything, that there are a lot more people who are out there. Dr. Will, what's going on, sir? Thank you for being here, as always. Um, and I know there are a lot of people who are out and about, but, it's still not completely business as usual. Personally, I feel like it's never going to be business as usual anymore. But anyway, so I wanted to share some of the things that are going on, that have been going on, particularly thinking reflectively about the past year of Jazz in the Spirit. This is my first year having released a CD and kind of having a goal and all that sort of thing. And there are a lot of other projects that are going on too. So I thank you guys for being here. I will thank you for being the first one that I see. And everyone else who will be joining or who will be watching later. Always got to put the commercials out there. We want you to continue to like, to follow, to subscribe. Jazz in the Spirit, everything. Facebook.com/Jazz in the Spirit, YouTube.com/Jazz in the Spirit video, Instagram.com/Jazz in the Spirit, Twitter.com/Jazz in the Spirit, Twitch, we're also Jazz in the Spirit. Pretty much everywhere you can find us, and of course my website, jazzinthespirit.com. So listen to my gospel jazz radio as always, and that's curated by Mr. Jermaine, who is my namesake. I appreciate him very much, and this music is so relaxing and it's so soothing. Hey Terry, thank you for being here. Just want to let you also know we still have our mugs. Jazz in the Spirit mugs, which you can get on my website. And, that's, for those of you that were wondering, no, I did not get to go to the Bahamas, although I really love this shirt. Someone else went for me, and they brought it back for me. But one of these days, I do want to go. So this is kind of be broken up into segments. The first one is the announcements, all the things that I just want to tell you that are coming up in case some of you have to go and you just want the facts, Then there's the connection segment where I talk about you, really, each and every one of you and my connections to you. Then the next segment is going to be where I talk about some of the new initiatives that are going on in the future. And then we're going to talk about sales, because I did say I had a goal in mind when I started this project for 1 year. So I wanted to report to you on the numbers. Then the last part is just the acknowledgments. There are a lot of people that I like to acknowledge that have been a part of this journey, a part of this process for this year and beyond. So I want to acknowledge them. And of course, acknowledge you all. So once again, thanks for being here. So let's get started. First, I want to let you know that this coming Friday, I will be doing another Friday Night Inspiration broadcast. They've been kind of off and on lately, mostly because I've been working hard on my book and going back and forth into the studio, and then also the venues have been opening up again. So Soul Expressions has been performing almost every weekend now, so it's been keeping me busy. But I will be doing a Friday night inspiration this coming Friday at 7:30, so I hope that you all will join me. And if you can't watch live, it'll all be, of course, on the on all these social media platforms afterwards. Then I'm going to do, I haven't done one of these in a little while too. I'm going to do another Saturday Sentiments this coming Saturday. And this topic is going to be, I mean, they're always kind of deep, but this one is going to be even deeper because I'm introducing a new song of the month. It's my song, Only Want to Serve You, which is a favorite of a lot of people. But also, the topic is called Only Want to Serve You, the Paradox of Matthew 6:33. So that's kind of deep. But yeah, and I like the deep stuff, so that's all right. But just want to let y'all know that that's coming. Then, for those of you that are in the Richmond area, the greater Richmond area, I will be performing with one of my best friends in the world, Stixx Bones, drummer, producer, wonderful guy. Again, one of my best friends in the world. I'm going to be performing with him on Thursday, August 5th, at this venue in Richmond called the Tin Pan. And the Tin Pan, if you haven't heard of it, is a venue in town that often features national artists. In the near future, we're going to have smooth jazz artist Kim Waters, and some other people. The bass legend Stanley Clarke has played there. Quite a few other well-known artists have played there. So it's going to be a real it's going to be really exciting to be there for the first time myself, especially with one of my great brothers, Stixx, and we're going to do the first half with the Jazz and the Spirit repertoire because, of course, he played on almost my entire album. And then the second half, because it's, he's the featured artist, the second half will be his repertoire. He has an album called Breaks from the Soul, which is kind of a blend of, hip-hop, smooth jazz, and break beats. So, and he's going to do his, flashy drum style and, just light up the stage. So it'll be a lot of fun. So if you're in the Richmond area or, don't mind traveling or what, we'll be there on Thursday, August 5th from 8 to 10. And I hope that, and you can get tickets at the website. It's called Tin Pan, TINPAN RVA, as in Richmond, Virginia. So Tin Pan RVA at, just tinpanrva.com. So I hope that y'all that are in the area will join us. We were trying to see about if they were going to be able to live stream that. Don't have confirmation about that yet, so I don't want to make a promise. But anyway, that's happening on August 5th. And then 2 days later, on Saturday, the 7th, it's still tentative because I want to make sure that I can move forward with it, but I am moving at a pretty good clip. So I'm going to go ahead and announce it. The 7th is the new date for my book release. I'm going to show you a little bit about the cover here. This is it's just a piece of paper, but it's got the what the cover will look like. The title of it is Gospel Jazz, Exploring This New Hybrid Style with a Rich Musical History by yours truly, RichardDAbreu Jr. So I'm super, super excited about that. It's the first time I'm ever trying to do something like this, taking all this knowledge and all this training and all this experience and all these things that I've gleaned from people over the years and just putting them all into one place. And I'm hoping that it will just be the start of something, even bigger, that lots of folks will write articles, will write books, will specialize and do things to raise awareness of gospel jazz. Ada, how you doing? So I think it will be, I won't say I think, I know it's going to be a good book because I've been working really hard on it, and the research is solid, and this is something that I've devoted my life to. So I'm really happy to share it with you all. So we got August 5th, 8 to 10 at the Tin Pan, and we've got August 7th at the Black History Museum and Cultural Center from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. That will be 12 noon. That will be my book release. And I'll be doing a little performing there too, because it doesn't make sense to talk about gospel jazz and not demonstrate some of it. So, but it'll just be me performing with some tracks, trying to just keep the overhead low. But I do plan to do a live stream from the museum as well. So those of you that are out of town, or at least not in my town, you all will be able to tune in live as well. And I hope that you all will join me. So those are the two, Friday, Saturday, and then August 5th and 7th. But then I'm also in the process of working on a Christmas CD. It's called, and I know everybody doesn't have CDs, well, a Christmas album, I'll say. It will be called A Jazz in the Spirit Christmas, and it will feature some of my original gospel jazz Christmas music. And I'm really excited that my son, RichardDAbreuJr, he likes to go by Rick now, he'll be featured on there for the first time since he was a little guy, and he's bigger than me now. But yeah, so that's going to be nice. He'll be playing bass primarily, but also guitar on a song or two. So, in fact, next week we're going to be going into the studio to do some more work on that album. So look for that around the holiday season. I forgot to say that my brother Stixx, another thing that's really great that happened I just got the notice today, is that he was accepted into the NARAS, N-A-R-A-S, which is the National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences, better known as Grammy. They're the folks who do the voting for who receives a Grammy. So he's been accepted into that organization. And I was happy to write a recommendation for him, so I'm thrilled that he has been accepted, and that's a great, great thing. So we're just rising together. So that's some news on that front. And if I didn't say, my book release is going to be, I think I did say, at the Black History Museum and Cultural Center. Why I chose that particular venue is because when I first came to town, they opened their doors to me, and I was able to have an event there. I had to pay for it, but it wasn't, astronomical. And the thing is, gospel jazz is one of those styles that is just not always accepted. Some folks say, it's too churchy for the jazz venues, it's too jazzy for church. So sometimes we're kind of like a fish out of water, but a place like the Black History Museum and Cultural Center was perfect. So we did a listening party there back in 2006, and since then the museum has expanded and grown and it's at a new site, and I'm excited that they're still welcoming to me, still opening their doors to me, and so I do believe that writing a book on gospel jazz is historic, and certainly there will be lots of history that I'll include in the book, And I hope that this will be a contribution, part of my legacy to this world and to those who will come after me about this music that's so near and dear to my heart. So I'm thankful to the Black History Museum and Cultural Center for that opportunity. Now, some other news that's just been happening. For those of you that watched my Juneteenth broadcast, it was on June 19th, for those of you that still may not be familiar. It was a great experience, but I also talked about on that day my video of a recording I did at the Hampton University Ministers Conference back in 2013. It was a very, very special moment in the room when that happened there. And I played Because He Lives, and I was accompanied by my dear friend, the very, very talented Dr. Patrice Turner on piano. And that video since then has surpassed 25,000 views, and actually since the 19th, it's actually surpassed 26,000 views. So that's just about another 1,000 views in a week, which is really exciting. So, and I haven't been doing any particular promotion for it or whatever. I think it's just organic. People are just enjoying it. They're being blessed by it. So if you have not seen it, certainly you can go to my YouTube channel, Jaz Time Spirit Video, and you can see it there. I think it's in the favorites playlist. It's also in the solo sax playlist. So you can certainly check that out, and I definitely appreciate your support. Then this particular year, 2021, is actually the 50-year anniversary of the composition of that great hymn of the church, Because He Lives, by William J. and his wife Gloria Gaither. So it's special in that regard too. A new milestone for that great song, and a new milestone for me as well. So we're really excited. Hi, Sister Valerie, thanks for being here. Then let me see here. Is that all the, yeah, that's all the announcements. Now I want to move into the, what I call the connections section. And I want to encourage you all, those who have not already, to join our list. We have an email list, and the email address that you send emails to is peoplewhomakeadifference@jazzinthespirit.com. I'll say it one more time. peoplewhomakeadifference@jazzinthespirit.com. And I'm hoping that as many of you as watch this will join that list, because we want to be able to reach you directly. Certainly we do that by direct message and all that stuff, but sometimes, I'll talk about why a little later, but sometimes these social media platforms can be a little interesting. And so I don't want my connection with you to be dependent on the social media platform, if you get my meaning. So that's the other reason why I want to stay connected directly to you. So if you have not already, we would love for you to send an email to peoplewhomakeadifference@jazzinthespirit.com. And we have sent out a few announcements already. We've also sent out a little new music that wasn't available anywhere else. And, you know, we like to say, they say membership has its privileges. We want to encourage you all to do everything that you can to make a difference in the world, and to do something for someone else. That's why I've named it that, and I want to encourage that as much as possible. The other thing that being able to go direct does is it gives me a chance to allow you all to hear the full versions of these songs. Of late, I've been, I'll talk about this a little more later too, but I've been talking to a few radio promoters through my publicist, Miss Andrea Renee Williams. And of course, you know, radio kind of forces you to create shortened versions of your songs. You know, if it's more than about 4 minutes, they're not trying to, you know, hear that. So you have to have a clipped down version. Now, of course, you know, gospel songs, you get excited and that thing can get going. And jazz too, with soloing and everything. So 4 minutes can be very limiting in a genre like gospel jazz. But if I have you all's direct connections, I can share not just the stuff that you might hear on the radio, but I can share the full version with you. Because, you know, as an arranger, I like things to develop over time. And folks who study composition, you know, they talk about, you know, the statement of a theme and then a development and then a recapitulation and restatement and all that kind of stuff. So those things kind of take time. So it's not just like, okay, just get to the hook and you're done, you know. You know, kind of popular songs are designed differently. So that's the other reason we'd love for you to become part of the people that make a difference at jazzinthespirit.com list. The other thing is, you know, that if you have not already gotten a copy, either the Jazz in the Spirit CD, which you can get at my website, www.jazzinthespirit.com, or download it on any of the digital outlets or stream it on any of those digital outlets. I definitely want to encourage you to do that. And I thank you, those folks who have already done that. Some folks have really come through big for us and, you know, shown a lot of support by themselves as well as, you know, telling others about it. So, and then the truth is, some people have just bought the album just because they wanted to show me support, just because they care about me and they wanted to let me know that. They're not necessarily like, you know, big gospel jazz fans, but they just wanted to show support. And I appreciate that too. Right now though, because of what I'm trying to do with raising awareness of this style of music and this audience, I really want to reach out to people who have a special interest in this music. I know that they're out there because they, you know, they've bought these albums. I see them. I see other artists doing multiple gospel jazz albums. So that is indicative of the fact that there are people who are interested. The hard part is galvanizing those audiences into a quantifiable mass so that the industry can see, okay, there are actually blah, blah, blah number of people who are interested in this geographic area. So let's have a radio station to support them. Let's have a venue devoted to gospel jazz to support them. Let's have some space in brick and mortar stores for them. Those kinds of things. Hey, cuz, how are you doing? Got my cuz on the line here. So those are the kinds of things that we want to do going forward. Because again, this is not just me trying to promote me. My whole vision of this from the beginning has been to raise awareness of the genre. And, you know, some of the folks that are watching are strong devotees of this genre, and they have, you know, they've expressed that to me. So I really appreciate that. I do know that you're out there, so holler at a brother, you know. Let me know that you exist and that you love this music, and you know, we will get some things going. Now, and that's not just folks in the U.S. We're also talking to folks overseas in the motherland, Africa, in South America, in the Caribbean, in Europe, in India, China, South Pacific, you know, everywhere. we're looking to make this, an internationally known and respected genre, because it's time. It's 2021. As my book will demonstrate, there is a long history of this music, and it's time for it to take its rightful place in history and in the culture and be acknowledged for what, for the greatness that it has. So I hope that you all will keep that in mind and reach out to your friends who you think might be interested in this. Like I said, I've been listening to gospel jazz radio, and if you'd like to do that too, all you got to do is go to jazzradionetwork.com. And there are 4 stations. The one that I like is called Gospel Jazz, but there are 3 others. One that's just called Jazz, one that's called Jazz Vespers, and then another one I think is called Classical Jazz. They're all nice stations, but Mr. Jermaine, who is not just my namesake, he's also a pioneer in his own right in terms of the radio announcer's history. He's one of the people who helped to bring contemporary Christian music to the fore back in the 1970s. And so he's been in the game for a long time, but he has a special interest in this music, and we've had some good conversations. And I'm going to have some quotations from him in my book too. So yeah, check that out anytime you just want to vibe with this music for a while. And there's some great artists. I thank him for including Jaz in the Spirit in his playlists, so that means a great deal. As I said before, we want you all to continue to support this music so that we can continue to do it. Unfortunately, I've been talking to some radio announcers who have said that for the Stellar Awards and for other shows like that, some of the program directors at these big major stations have actually been looking for gospel jazz music, and they said there's been a shortage. And I'm scratching my head because I'm just thinking, like, there is no shortage at all. There are a ton of wonderful, wonderful musicians who are just dying to get their music out there. So what we've got to do is we've got to connect those dots. So if there are any of you that are actually gospel jazz artists and you're looking to get your music out there, hit me up, okay? Because I'm in touch with some of those folks right now, and they're actually looking for more artists. And if you all know of artists that have been trying to get their music out there, now we don't want anything that's half-baked. We want it to be, at a level of excellence. But I know that there's a lot of stuff out there that is, definitely at that level, and it's ready to be heard over the radio and over the airwaves and on the internet and so on. So just let me know. You can send messages. Of course, you can email me at peoplewhomakeadifference@jazandspirit.com. But we're, as we say, we're fitting to get this thing going. Yeah, I've been in the South 15 years, y'all, so. But yes, but we definitely want to move this genre forward. So now here's another thing. I gotta keep it 100 with y'all for a minute. I had the experience just from my Juneteenth recording and maybe a few other ones where I told you that sometimes these social media platforms can get interesting. So my Juneteenth broadcast, Facebook actually muted the 3 songs, or was it 4 songs, of mine, the songs that are on my album that I own all the rights to. They muted it for quote-unquote copyright violation. And I'm not sure why that is, because I do own the rights to the songs. I am the songwriter. But they did that, and then because Facebook and Instagram are owned by the same parent company. um, Instagram was acting funny too. Now, what's interesting is I put up a post on Instagram saying that I do have the rights to this song, and they put it back because they wanted to remove it. So what I'm saying is that sometimes even when you own the rights to your own music, they get kind of strange. And so once again, I don't want to have them to stand between me and you. So I appreciate I appreciate all of these platforms and the access, but I never want that to be a limit to what we're doing. So once again, stay connected to me and help me stay connected to you. And yeah, amen. So of late, you probably notice I've been doing fewer broadcasts because I've been working on my book, working on the studio stuff. But while waiting, if you have not had a chance to see some of the other broadcasts from the previous months, I think I started doing this in October of last year. There are quite a few of them now. I had one called Movie Mondays, where I was doing just little video clips, performances of some of my original music. On Tuesday, of course, I had these Tuesday talks. I was just talking about the things that were coming up, so you can kind of see the progression of how things were happening throughout the latter part of last year. Then on Wednesday, I had a segment called Wednesday Afternoons, which was named after my song Wednesday Afternoon. And those were basically my interactions with the media. So they were either articles or interviews or just videos, different things where I was interacting with the media. So those were there. I had another segment called Thursday Perks, which was designed to help incentivize sales of the recordings. And I'll be the first to tell you, I'm not a salesman person. I'm not a fast talker. I'm not a hoo. If you buy the CD, I just thank you for buying it. I know it's good quality, but I'm not like somebody who's gonna, you gotta buy this because this and that. And yeah, it's just, but I tried. But they also had some, one thing that I really liked about the Thursday segments was it gave me a chance to talk about 10 songs worth of listen. And so these were songs that I selected specifically in the gospel jazz style that I thought were worth checking out. So check out those Thursday Perks broadcasts. And then, of course, the Friday Night Inspirations. Those were the live performances of both my repertoire as well as some popular gospel songs or jazz songs. Then the Saturday Sentiments was the reflective day where I would delve into a particular topic and, just really dig deep into that particular topic, and have kind of an overall message for the day. So then I guess, as I said, that was what I call the connections segment. This is what I call the new initiatives segment. So I am referring to this decade as, you've heard of the Roaring Twenties, but I haven't been 20 in a long time. I just turned 51 in January. Amen. So this decade, I'm feeling very inspired. I'm feeling very excited. I'm feeling very driven. And so I'm calling this decade my Roaring 50s. So over the years, I just have to say that, there are a lot of dreams. I've always been a dreamer, always been a visionary, but there have been a lot of dreams, a lot of ideas, a lot of things I hoped to do that didn't get done for one reason or another. I was feeling discouraged, or I didn't have enough money, didn't believe in myself enough, got derailed, whatever, over these years. But now we're moving full steam ahead. So that's why you're going to see a lot of things happen over the course of these 10 years. I have a repertoire of over 350 songs that I'm looking to get out there. I don't expect them all to become hits, but I believe some of them will. So I'm excited about that. And I want to get them out there. I want to share them with you. And as much as possible, for those of you in the inner circle, you all will get to hear them before anybody else does. That's the whole point. I talked about this on Juneteenth. My alma mater, Berklee College of Music, has started a master's program in songwriting. And I'm very, very excited about that because, you know, as a songwriter, I've been doing this a long time, but, you know, as time passes and styles change, the industry changes, sounds change, you want to kind of retool and, you know, discover what new things are out there. So I'm looking to do that because I want to join the ranks of, you know, people like Miles Davis, Andre Crouch, Quincy Jones, Stevie Wonder, who just constantly reinvented themselves for different generations, and they were able to sustain very long careers with their music. So that's kind of what I endeavor to do too. Then there is a new platform called Clubhouse that I'm just learning about. Well, not just learning, I've been thinking about it for a while, but I am probably in the not too distant future gonna be trying to start up some discussions on the topic of gospel jazz and also, you know, using music to make a difference. So, and those two are very closely related. So I'm hoping to do that soon too. Then there is, oh, thank you, Don. I appreciate it. There's this other platform called Patreon, which basically allows people to subscribe to you for all intents and purposes. People are in the, you know, the similar way to patrons of old. People have the opportunity to pay a monthly subscription, and it supports the artist as they're bringing exclusive content to their inner circle. So I would like to do that with you all. Like I said, I have quite a large number of songs, and I'd like to try them out on you all before, you know, kind of putting them out there to the to the general populace. I think that they're good songs, and I think that you'll enjoy them. So that's something that I'm looking to do too, and basically just help me to pursue this call that God has placed on my life. That's just what it is. So so look for that in the near future. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on, and this decade is there's a lot that's going to be happening. So now, I told you that I had some data that I wanted to share about the sales of my album. Now, you know, a lot of artists will not share this stuff because, you know, it can be, it can put you in a very vulnerable state. But listen, I don't mind the transparency because I want you all to know the real deal. And for those of you who might be up and coming artists and you're wondering, you know, how this goes, I want you to be encouraged that, listen, you know, this is real information from a real person. I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything, let you know exactly what's what. And I wish more of us would do that so that, you know, those of us that are, you know, trying to figure out whether we should do it or not, you can have some real information. So, last year, June 19th of 2020, when my album was released, my goal was to have 10,000 units sold, downloaded, or streamed in a 1-year period, so that I could demonstrate to the industry that there was a documentable audience for this music, and I could use it to leverage for increased opportunities in radio, festivals, the kinds of things that I was just talking about. So we did not get there, but I will tell you what we did do. And again, I thank you all for the support that you gave, because as far as I can tell, all of you that are on here right now have been supportive of it. So we sold 250 CDs in the course of this year, and 2,054 digital units. So that was downloads and streams. Then there were also 2,040 monetized YouTube views. So just for the quote-unquote sales, that was 2,304 from Juneteenth 2020 to April 2021. So because the download information doesn't get released until 2 months later, we won't have the information all the way up to June until probably the end of August. But that still gives you a good idea. It won't change dramatically. So again, 2,304 sales from June, that's of CDs and digital, from Juneteenth 2020 to April 2021. And then the monetized views were 2,040. So altogether, if we put those together, it was 4,344. So a little less than half of what we were shooting for. So, and then also I released a single, Happy Birthday from Me, in January, on my birthday of January 2021. Sales, we had 257 of those, and then the monetized YouTube views were 55. So just a little over 300 of those with sales plus views. So basically what that lets me know is that on what I was doing by itself, which is primarily just whatever radio airplay we could secure through my publicist and the media outlets that we reached, as well as social media and all that. That's what we were able to do in 1 year, which, and thanks to you, that's definitely significant. However, in order to reach the numbers that I was trying to get to, it seems clear now that what I'm going to have to do is engage the services of a radio promoter. Now, the tricky part is that because smooth jazz, straight ahead jazz, and gospel are considered 3 different separate radio formats, and there aren't really specifically gospel jazz radio promoters right now. You have to kind of mix and match. So that's that's the tricky part about what I'm trying to do. Once again, when you're trying to pioneer a new path, it can be tricky, and it's uncharted territory. So radio promoters can be close to $1,000 a month. And that's for a period of 4 or 6 months, sometimes a year, 18 months. It can be a minute. So that was one of those things I was hoping to be able to circumvent through direct connection to you all. But it didn't. The numbers just weren't there. And so I just have to, that's one of those things where you have to, those of you that are artists, you got to be willing to face the facts. and let the numbers guide you to what your next step is going to be. So we've been talking to a few radio promoters and had some very good conversations, and I think I'll be moving forward in the near future. But of course, that means that we'll have to do some things to be able to support that. Amen. So again, those of you that would like to partner with me in that, I definitely appreciate your support. Once again, purchasing the albums, making contributions and so on. It definitely helps a lot. So I'll put up on the screen some of the ways that you can do that. But we definitely believe in this product, and that it can make its way onto these radio stations and these radio shows. And the truth is, it's one of those litmus tests for those of us that are career artists to basically cause us to decide, are we in this for life, or are we in this just as a hobby? Because it's nothing like, getting a serious bill to say, okay, well, I really didn't mean to do all that. I was just trying to have some fun. I wanted to see how far this would go. Versus, no, this is what I'm called to do with my life. And whatever it takes, I'm all in. So, as I told you, these are the Roaring 50s, so I am absolutely all in. And we didn't go and pay all that money to Brown University and Berklee College of Music to be playing around. We're in this thing to win it, so we're going forward. And I know that with each of you, that I'm letting you know ahead of time what the vision is, so that when you see it happen, you can rejoice with me. So that's, and eventually what I'm hoping to do is to create some new opportunities, i.e. some stations that specialize in gospel jazz, where you can actually hear a straight ahead song, a smooth jazz song, or instrumental gospel song all on the same station, because they're all part of the same genre, really. Because honestly, on all of those formats, gospel jazz still doesn't get a lot of love. Or you have to do things like, just come up with these catchy little titles that sort of suggest the message, but don't really state it, if you know what I mean. So, for example, I have a song called Look and Live that would, it would sound great on smooth jazz radio, except for the fact that the hook goes, look and live, my brother, live, look to Jesus now and live. So that's kind of a no-no, unfortunately, in a lot of those stations. So what do? You try to create some new opportunities. You don't hang your head and just say, oh, woe is me. No, you look for new opportunities to share the message, once again, that is in your spirit. And you go forward, because again, this is not just music that's about me. This is music to help change somebody's life and to help someone to grow. So I have an obligation to do that, to bring this message forward, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just letting you know that's what's happening. So now the last part, and I know I'm getting close to an hour here, is just the acknowledgments. There are kind of a lot of these, but and then I don't want to, there's some folks I may miss, but you can send me an email and tell me you missed calling my name, so that's all right. First, I want to thank each and every one of you that have spent some of your Tuesday night with me. I want to say a special thank you to my publicist, Miss Andrea Renee Williams. She's awesome. Those of you that need somebody to do publicity for you, press releases and those kinds of things, hit her up. She's wonderful. She's also she's a recording artist herself, Berkeley alum. She's got a wonderful singing voice. And she does what I call, I don't know if she's going to keep this name, but I call it spa gospel. It's kind of like music to kind of soothe your spirit, where you just kind of get in the zone. Like, you know, when you go to a spa and you feel the smells, and it's just kind of relaxing. It's a whole atmospheric kind of thing. And they actually have, you know, kind of spa radio stations too, but none of them have really claimed to be religious in any way. But hers is specifically Christian music, so that's why I call it spa gospel. So if you get a chance to check her out, Andrea Renee Williams, and like I said, she's been wonderful for me in terms of really pushing me to get this CD out and into the media outlets and so on. So she's been wonderful. I want to thank Miss Shanta Bumi Jasper, who is also a great vocalist. She did the cover art for the CD, and she came up with this awesome design. So, and I'm gonna have her working on updating my website soon too. So, so the one that you see now, JazTimeSpirit.com, that's not her work, that's my work. But her work is gonna look a lot better because that's what she does. So, but for now, it's just information that you can get it. So all the links work. But I also want to thank all the radio announcers. My good brother Tony Smith has a station called Gospel Jazzations from Fairleigh Dickinson. He's been doing that for over 20 years. And was really the only gospel jazz radio announcer in the whole New York tri-state area. And his partner, Mr. Don Corey Washington, who, you know, Don actually sang on my CD on the 23rd song. So he's a fantastic singer. And also I want to thank Miss Wendy Layton. She's in Chicago. She's got a gospel jazz radio station on a college radio station there. Frank and Larry, they have a show in New Mexico, y'all. And they were, even before the CD came out, they had me on there for an interview through Andrea again. And, you know, they really enjoyed my music. And in fact, Look and Live was the song that they played. So I thank them. Miss Pam Dixon down there in Columbus, Georgia. She loved the whole album. And, you know, she's not afraid to play it. And I really appreciate her. We met on Facebook. Miss Liz Black, who's a gospel DJ in New York for many years, has interviewed me and, you know, been very encouraging of what it is that I'm trying to do. Minister Sheila Bell, who's here in Richmond on Praise 104.7, and she's got a publication called The Bell Report. She's included me in the Bell Report, and I definitely appreciate that. Nightline is a Christian TV show down in South Carolina, and I definitely I enjoyed my time there. We did a little mini tour back in October in South Carolina and Atlanta. I played on that show as well as Atlanta Live and Babby's House, which is the show hosted by a national artist, Miss Babby Mason. So it was great to meet her and to be interviewed by her and have the opportunity to play some of my music on her show. Also, Mr. Michael Gourier, who's originally from New Orleans. Nickname is Mr. Jazz. But he was one of the first people to play Look and Live on the radio here in Richmond. And I definitely appreciate him. Mr. Jermaine, of course, for Gospel Jazz Radio. Um, my church families, there have been many. Fourth Baptist, where I am now. Second Baptist, where I was for 10 and a half years in Richmond. My old friends from Vision Community Church in Stafford. My home church that I grew up in, Concord Baptist. Certainly churches in Boston, where I was during the 90s, Mass Avenue Baptist Church, Western Avenue Baptist Church, of course, Brown University, Berklee College of Music. So many teachers, oh my gosh, over the years that I had. And reconnecting with my fifth grade teacher recently, Dr. Edsel Hocker Jr., who was so excited about the CD. He told everybody he knew about it. So I just really appreciate things like that. So many of you on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn, YouTube, everywhere. I really appreciate you. And there's some people, I know you get in trouble when you call them by name, but they've been so supportive. I don't mind calling them by name. Of course, I'm going to mention my wife, Makiba, my family. Dawn, you're right there. Thank you, cuz. Miss Leatrice Allen, who was one of the first top fans on my Jazz in the Spirit page in Facebook. Miss Franzenia June, who's got a whole kind of radio thing going up there in the DC area. Bishop DAbreu out there in California. Miss Phyllis Hart, North Carolina. Mr. Will Griffin, I don't know if you're still on there, but he's right here in town. Mr. Jesus Rami on Instagram. Miss Olandria Friday. Some of my young people from Concord that I, knew as teenagers who are now young adults and stuff. So you all, Miss Gladden from Fourth Baptist, Dr. Ruby Wilson, Miss Sandra Prasad, Mr. Ed Lampkin, Mr. Harry Mims, Mr. Nelson Morris. Our sons play together on the football team. And all these folks, it's been good to just meet them, even if it's meeting them virtually, but kind of having a connection with them. So my ask of you is just that we stay in touch as we move into year 2. Don't just like and disappear, but, keep in touch so that we can continue this process and continue this journey. I know some folks are shy. They don't like to be acknowledged or whatever, and they don't always want to tell me about things that they're doing to make a difference. But I'm hoping to look for ways to make that easier. But I really want you all to step out there, because we get bombarded with so much bad news and so many things that bring our spirits down. We need some more stuff to bring our spirits up. And you all can do that. And I'm happy to share it with you and share it with others. If there's an issue of, not wanting your name to be out there, we can just mention what you do. But the main thing is to just get the news out there. So thank you so much, Sister Valerie. So just remember, as I get ready to roll, this Friday we're doing Friday Night Inspiration. Saturday we're doing the Saturday Sentiments at 11 o'clock. On August 5th we'll be at the Tin Pan with Stixx, my good friend Stixx Bones. On the 7th of August at the Black History Museum, 10 o'clock, doing a book release. And, just performing out wherever I can, working on the album, working on the book, and so on. So I want to encourage us always to do what we can to make someone else's life better. And this is something that you can remember. Spread love, not hate. Make a difference before it's too late. Okay, maybe that's easy for you to remember. But that's the parting thought that I want to leave you with. And thank you for joining me for Tuesday Talk. So continue to like, follow, subscribe, click the notification bell so you'll know when Jaz in the Spirit is doing things. And thank you guys for joining me. And we'll talk to you soon. God bless. All right.